In this video tutorial, we will review how to perform a motor nerve conduction study on Keypoint Net. The tested nerve and site are shown in the upper left corner of the window. The amplifier channel is displayed right below, next to the time base and sensitivity of the traces. The time base and sensitivity displayed are related to 1 square of the exam window, or division. Stimulation settings are shown on top of the waveform window. Stimulation intensity, stimulus duration, shape, and frequency rate if in repetitive mode. The list of stimulation sites is displayed in the left column next to the waveform window. The first stimulation site is automatically selected and displayed with a dark blue label background. Connect the electrodes to the corresponding amplifier channel. The activity window is shown on the right side of the screen. It displays the raw input of the amplifier and assesses the level of noise and interference, as well as the patient's relaxation. It should be kept as flat as possible. Now the patient is relaxed. Now the patient is contracting. It may be hidden temporarily using a right click in the waveform window and selecting Display, Activity. Increase the stimulus intensity using the control panel or the stimulation probe. Press the single stim key. Repeat the same steps until you recorded a supramaximal response. Use the left and right arrow keys on the control panel to modify the time base if necessary. Use the up and down arrow keys on the control panel to modify the sensitivity if necessary. Markers are automatically placed if a physiological response has been recorded. The first marker is placed on the takeoff of the potential and records the takeoff latency. The second marker is placed on the negative peak to record the negative amplitude between the first and second marker. The third marker is placed where the potential crosses the baseline to record the negative duration between the first and third marker. All numerical values are shown in the result table on the right side of the screen. In this study, the latency is 4.33 milliseconds, the amplitude is 7.4 millivolts, and the negative duration 4.9 milliseconds. More markers may be configured to allow additional measurements, for example, peak-to-peak amplitude or total duration and area. Marker placement may be modified using the mouse or the control panel. With the mouse, click and drag the marker to be modified. Using the control panel, press the volume knob and its LED switches from volume to a double arrow. It automatically highlights the first marker of the waveform. Rotate the knob to move the marker to the desired location. And use the left and right arrow keys to highlight the next marker. Once satisfied, press the knob again to validate. The result table is updated in real time. If the waveform wasn't marked, simply click on the location where the marker shall be present to add it, starting with the takeoff marker. Should the software then be able to calculate the position of the remaining markers, it will place them automatically. Press the New Site function key to stimulate the next site. A letter A is written on the right side of the function key, corresponding to the A button of the stimulation probe and the left pedal on the foot switch as well. Stimulate and record the supramaximal response on the new stimulation site. Distance in the segment result table is automatically highlighted to calculate the conduction velocity. Measure the distance in millimeters and type it directly from the control panel or computer keyboard and press Enter. The conduction velocity is calculated. More functions are available at the bottom of the exam window. They carry different functions, such as clear, to delete a waveform, mix other side, to compare waveforms on the left and right side of the patient on the current nerve, NC data, to open the full result table for all nerve conduction studies. Move to history, to manually store a trace when one wants to try and record a better potential. The software may be configured to automatically store all waveforms by default. The motor test is now complete. Exit the test by choosing one of the three following options. Press left or right function key to repeat the same test on the other side of the patient. Press New Nerve function key to run a motor nerve conduction study on another nerve. Press the Test menu function key to return to the General Test Selection view.